What would you do with a floating city larger than the biggest cruise ships? Something so massive it can fit a port for smaller ships and space for malls, parks, and hotels? Well, on this episode of Tech Blazer, we'll be looking at Pangeos, a proposed $8 billion Terra yacht designed to be the largest floating structure ever built. But before we dive in, make sure you hit that subscribe button to stay updated on the latest tech wonders. This oceanic colossus is no mere boat, but a veritable floating metropolis aiming to house 60,000 guests in unbridled luxury. The sheer scale of the Pangeos is staggering. Measuring 550 meters long and 610 meters wide, it would be the largest floating structure ever constructed. This man-made behemoth is composed of 9 separate hulls and has the capacity to accommodate a whopping 60,000 guests once complete. With the population of a small city on board, it's clear the Pangeos goes far beyond a mere boat. It's more akin to a floating metropolis. The imposing dimensions allow for a range of amenities you'd expect in a city, from shopping malls and parks to a full-fledged port where smaller ships can dock. Accommodation runs the gamut from luxury apartments to lavish super villas fit for royalty. Its ambitious name also evokes urban scale. Pangeos is inspired by Pangaea, the supercontinent that contained all land masses hundreds of millions of years ago. Much like that primordial land mass, the Pangeos aims to be a vast, all-encompassing habitat, only this time for 60,000 people afloat the high seas. The Pangeos goes far beyond the average cruise liner to offer an unparalleled array of amenities and luxury features. This floating behemoth will contain everything you could want in a city. There are plans for enormous shopping malls, verdant parks, and even full-scale ports where smaller ships can dock to welcome guests in style. The living accommodations rival the ritziest condominiums and villas on land. The Pangeos will have lavish apartments and super villas, along with opulent royal VIP palaces fit for billionaires and royalty. Residents can land their flying cars directly on the deck, disembarking like jet setters. If you're enjoying this content, don't forget to subscribe for more amazing insights. Within your luxurious villa, you'll feel like you have your own floating mansion. Every imaginable amenity will be present. Fancy a dip? Your suite likely has its own private infinity pool. Other perks like private movie theaters, spas, gyms, and more ensure occupants want for nothing. Advanced green technologies will also power this massive vessel. Massive solar panel arrays cover the upper decks, harnessing renewable energy from the sun. Electric motors propel the ship with decent power, but minimal environmental impact. Between the sheer scale, decadent features, and visionary tech, the Pangeos aims to be more than a boat, but a literal floating city. Residents can live a utopian lifestyle and want for nothing while aboard this man-made behemoth cruising the high seas. To truly comprehend how monumentally massive the Pangeos The Terayacht would be, it's useful to compare it against the sizes of other record-setting ships. Let's start with the current largest cruise ship, Royal Caribbean's Wonder of the Seas. This behemoth checks in at 362 meters long and can accommodate up to 5,734 passengers. Now imagine a ship over 50% longer. The Pangeos will measure a whopping 550 meters from end to end. Looking to individual luxury vessels, the current largest superyacht is Azam at 180 meters long, truly palatial by any measure. Yet again, the Pangeos makes it look tiny, dwarfing it by being over 3 times longer. Even the Great Pyramids of Giza would comfortably fit on the Pangeos deck space. These comparisons help put its unprecedented scale into perspective. We're talking about a man-made floating structure over half a kilometer long and wider than most airport runways. It's challenging to even imagine a mobile structure this massive cruising the ocean. The Pangeos The Terayacht promises to shatter all existing records for the largest seafaring vessel ever conceived. The audacious vision for the Pangeos The Terayacht originated from the mind of Italian designer Pierpaolo Lazzarini. With a portfolio of other conceptual megastructures, Lazzarini is known for pushing the boundaries of aquatic architecture. When designing the Pangeos, his aim was to create more than just a luxury yacht, but a fully functional floating city. Inspired by ocean liners of the past, Lazzarini wanted to evoke the grand scale and nostalgia of cross-Atlantic travel, but he sought to do so with a futuristic and sustainably minded design. If you're finding this fascinating, make sure to subscribe to Tech Blazer for more groundbreaking tech news. Lazzarini imagines the Pangeos being perpetually in motion, crisscrossing the seas without leaving a carbon footprint. He states it will be entirely self-sufficient thanks to renewable energy sources like wave power and massive solar panels. In his vision, the Pangeos can keep continuously moving while providing a lavish, modern lifestyle to thousands of residents. With opulent amenities, avant-garde green tech, and unprecedented scale, the Pangeos represents Lazarini's bold vision for the future of environmentally conscious oceanic living and travel. Constructing a floating city as massive and advanced as the Pangeos represents an unprecedented engineering challenge. First, designing a seaworthy, fuel-efficient hull on this scale already pushes boundaries. The Pangeos hull spans 9 segments with separate bows. Advanced hydrodynamics modeling would be needed to ensure stability and efficiency across a 5 football field length. The engines required are another Herculean task. Each of the 9 electric motors must generate over 16,000 horsepower. That's equivalent to over a dozen Formula One cars per engine. Their output, sustainability, and reliability would be paramount. Generating the onboard power is no small feat either. Renewable sources like wave energy and vast solar arrays must produce enough for a small city across spinning rotors and photovoltaics. In all aspects, the Pangeos represents a sheer mega engineering project, testing the limits of maritime design. One wonders if current technology is up to the task. The sheer scale and complexity seem to push the boundaries of what's possible. But Lazzarini envisions our engineering capabilities will rise to the challenge and turn this ambitious concept into a reality. If you're loving these, hit that subscribe button for more in-depth tech analysis. The sheer ambition of the Pangeos comes with an equally astronomical price tag, an estimated $8 billion to construct. This immediately prompts questions on the economic feasibility. Does the technology exist to build it? And who could possibly fund such a gigantic project? The leading candidate with deep enough pockets is Saudi Arabia. Given their penchant for audacious megaprojects like the $500 billion Neom City, they may have both the capital and desire to construct something this ambitious. Yet, even for them, the Pangeos' $8 billion budget could seem outlandish. The build itself presents additional hurdles. The Pangeos would require its own dedicated shipyard and an estimated 8 years of construction. Assembling hundreds of thousands of tons of steel and advanced systems into the largest moving object ever built is no easy task. Well, that wraps up this epic overview of the Pangeos Terra yacht concept. So what do you think? Could you imagine living on a floating city like the Pangeos? And how would you spend your days if you could gaze out on the endless ocean from your luxurious villa? Let me know in the comments if you think we'll see floating cities in our lifetime and if the $8 billion price tag is worth it. Don't forget to like and subscribe to TechBlazer for more insight into visionary tech projects.